but I'm a person, and I feel like, people will like you for who you are if you are true to yourself. And
We are accustomed.
A seismic shockwave just hit the tennis world, and the epicenter is a BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wales, BNP Paribas Open Wales. In a match that has left all of Russia utterly speechless and the entire Philippines roaring with unprecedented pride, Alexandra Eala has done the unthinkable. We are talking about a historic jaw-dropping upset against the formidable Russian phenom world number 5 Mirra Andreeva. Wells, Mirra Andreeva. Nobody saw this coming. The analysts were completely wrong. The odds makers were silenced, Mirra Andreeva silenced, and the global tennis community is still trying to process exactly how a rising Filipina star dismantled one of the most dominant forces on a hard court today. If you thought you knew where the 2026 WTA season was heading, you need to throw away the script. The hierarchy of women's tennis has just been fundamentally shattered. And you absolutely need to hear how this masterclass unfolded. To truly understand the magnitude of what just has happened at Indian Wells, we need to look at the massive stakes going into this tournament. The BNP Paribas Open is universally recognized as the 5th Grand Slam. It is the ultimate proving ground where legends cement their legacy and where pretenders are quickly exposed. Coming into this Californian desert showdown, Mirra Andreeva was riding a wave of terrifying momentum. Ranked globally in the top 5, the Russian prodigy was not just heavily favored to win this match. She was widely expected to steamroll her way deep into the finals and violently defend her hard-court dominance. On the other side of the net stood Alexandra Eala. Yes, the 20-year-old Filipina sensation has been steadily climbing the ranks, recently hitting a career best world ranking to secure a first-round best round bye. We all knew she had immense potential, especially after her recent spectacular performances during the Middle East swing. But stepping onto the stadium court against a juggernaut like Andreeva, Teatround Agassi, adds a completely different stratosphere of pressure. In this video, we are going completely under the surface. I am going to break down the incredible history leading up to this exact moment, Agassi moment, analyze the brilliant tactical warfare Eala unleashed on the court to neutralize Andreeva's overwhelming power moment, and explain exactly why the entire nation of Russia is reeling from this unexpected defeat. Furthermore, we will explore the massive ripple effects this upset will have on the WTA rankings and trajectory, and what we can expect as a tennis tour pushes forward. Buckle up, because this is a comprehensive story of the upset of the year. Let's dive right into the background. How exactly did we arrive at this monumental clash? If you have been closely following women's tennis, you know that the parallel ascensions of Alexandra Eala power, Mirra Andreeva have been nothing short of cinematic. Andre has been the undisputed Russian Vundant, a Mirra Andreeva wonderkind, teenage powerhouse who took the professional circuit by storm, cracking the global elite and striking fear into the hearts of veteran Grand Slam wunderkind, Grand Slam champions. She is known for her relentless baseline aggression, terrifying court coverage, and a maturity on the hard court that makes her look like a seasoned tour veteran. Meanwhile, Eala has been carrying the hopes of over 100 million Filipinos on her shoulders. A proud graduate of the Rafael Nadal Academy, she has been grinding her way up the brutal WTA ladder with incredible grit. Just recently, she surged to a career-high ranking of 31 in the world after phenomenal C Grand Slam Phenomenalampain, which included a stunning upset over top 10 fixture Jasmine Paolini, a phenomenal Paolini in Dubai. But let's be brutally honest here. Despite Ella's incredible trajectory, facing Mirra Andreeva was viewed by most analysts as hitting an insurmountable brick wall. The two had crossed paths recently, most notably at a high-profile exhibition in Macau late last year, Paolini year, where Andreeva walked away with a comfortable straight sets victory. That previous encounter painted a very clear narrative. Ella was good, but Andreeva was simply on a different, untouchable level. That was the accepted story until today. This brings us to the core event, the match that will be heavily analyzed for years to come under blistering. Calcet's blister in California sun at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The stage was perfectly set for a routine, predictable Andreeva victory, but Alexandra Eala clearly had a wildly different script in mind. From the very first serve, Eala stepped on the blistering Gonto court not with the difference of a hopeful underdog, but with a cold, calculated execution of a seasoned assassin. How did she actually pull this off? Tactically, it was an absolute masterclass in disruption. Eala used her heavy left-handed topspin to pin Andre Vad behind the baseline, entirely neutralizing the Russians' ability to step in and dictate the pace of the rallies. Instead of getting lured into a sheer power-hitting contest, which plays right into Andrea's lethal striking zone, Eala mixed up her shots beautifully. She utilized pinpoint drop shots and heavily sliced backhands and completely derailed the offensive rhythm that Andreeva desperately relies on to suffocate her opponents. And we absolutely must talk about the mental fortitude displayed out there when Andreeva inevitably pushed back, unleashing those terrifying cross-court forehands to try and bully her way back into the match. Eala did not blink. In the crucial moments when break points were on the line and the tension in the stadium was thick enough to cut with a knife, it was a Filipina who stayed completely ice-cold. She served with laser precision, systematically targeted Andrea's weaker wing, and dismantled a top-5 player in front of a completely stunned global audience. When that final match point was secured, the deafening roar of the crowd said it all. It was not just a hard-fought win. It was a definitive statement of a rival. Now, we have to look at the profound ripple effect of this upset. Who truly wins and who loses here? For Alexandra Eala in the Philippines, this is an astronomically game-changing victory. Eala is no longer just a rising prospect with potential. She has officially cemented herself as a giant slayer capable of taking down the absolute best in the world on the most prestigious stages. This win will undeniably catapult her global profile and attract massive new brand endorsements. Keep in mind, she was just given a personalized hero's welcome at the Nike headquarters in Oregon right before this tournament began, and inspired a whole new generation of athletes across Southeast Asia. Conversely, the fallout in Russia is massive. Mirra Andreeva has been heavily marketed and protected as the unstoppable, inevitable future of women's tennis. For her to be outmaneuvered, out-hustled, and outright outplayed in a mandatory 1,000-level event sends absolute shockwaves through her camp. It exposes a sudden vulnerability. It proves to the rest of the locker room that the Russian phenom is human after all. This crushing defeat will undoubtedly force Andreeva and her elite coaching team immediately back to the drawing board to figure out what went so disastrously wrong. So, what is the future outlook based on these incredible new facts? The entire WTA landscape has just been blown wide open. For Eala, a deep historic run at Indian Wells now looks incredibly realistic, and a top 20 ranking is entirely within her immediate grasp. The overwhelming confidence she gains from this victory makes her a massive looming threat heading into the Miami Open later this month. For Andreeva, the global pressure just skyrocketed to unprecedented levels. The tennis world will be watching her next move like a hawk to see if this was just a bizarre bad day at the office or players have finally figured out the exact blueprint to defeat her. One thing is absolutely certain. The rivalry between Alex Eala and Mirra Andreeva has officially ignited, and it is going to be blockbuster television for the next decade. To sum it all up, Alexandra Eala's sensational victory over world number 5 Mirra Andreeva at the BNP Paribas Open is not just the biggest upset of the tournament. It is a historic shifting of the tides in modern women's tennis. Eala has definitively proven that with the right strategic tactics and an unbreakable mental toughness, absolutely no ranking is safe. Now, I want to turn it over to you. Do you think Alex Eala has what it takes to ride this momentum and win the entire Indian Wells tournament? Or was this shocking upset against Andreeva just a one-time lightning strike? Drop your boldest predictions down in the comment section below, because I read every single one of them. If you found this deep dive insightful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the biggest stories and breakdowns in the sports world. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next deep dive.